we just gonna get right into it. The Eagles 4-1, the Giants 1-4. I'll give you my first take on it. You can respond, say your thoughts. Like, I firmly believe the Eagles should and will blow out the Giants. I feel like it would be an indictment on the Eagles if this becomes a game in the fourth quarter. And I know division rivalries, even if there is a mismatch, they always play each other close. Like, do I think the Cowboys are anywhere talented, close to the Eagles at all? No, but it was a competitive game. And if CD makes some catches, potentially the Cowboys win that game. So all that to say, I think divisional round games usually are competitive, but I feel like the Eagles should blow them out. That's my first initial thought. Like, you got Malik Neighbors out. Now Darius Slayton's out. You have a rookie quarterback in his third start ever. I mean, you could argue their best offensive player right now is a rookie in Cam Scadaboo, who I like, but if that's your best player on your offense, dog, you got you're gonna have some trouble against that Vic Fangio defense. So, how do you feel like the Eagles will fare in this game? You can start the defense, offense. What you like?
So I feel like the biggest thing right now, as we all know, is this offense, right? The defense has been playing amazing, right? Quinyon Mitchell, I think, has been the best corner in all of football, right? Your defense rookie of the year pick, Jahai Campbell, has been amazing. But the offense we know has so much talent. AJ Brown, Smitty. I'm not going to name the names. We know who they are, but it's been so stagnant at times, so sloppy at times. We're seeing players sometimes even give up mid play. So I want to see the offense get going, not just passing the ball wise, but finding that balance. Because Saquon had 6 carries last game. That just should not happen when you're up 17-3. And also, how you running the football. Because sometimes you can run the football 15, 20 times, but if they're not giving Saquon Barkley an advantage, it's not doing them nothing. I feel like get back under the center. Let's get back to what we did last year on those 50, those 60, those 70-yard touchdown runs. Get back under center. Saquon, I'm going to give it to you here. I might pull a guard here. Get back to the simple things that make this offense so damn special. So now, Hurts, next time we do a play action pass, under center and I put in that belly, those linebackers, you got to come up. You got to respect it. So now I'm taking that AJ Brown, a deep cross is coming wide open, a deep post for Smitty's coming wide open. So we have to get this offense back because I understand the defense, Vic Fangio, the talent, they're going to be what the defense will always be. But the offense, I want to see more consistency. And honestly, like you said, dominate this Giants team because we're just way better than them, bro.
And that's what I want to see from this game. I believe that Vic Fangio's defense, who's gonna be pissed off because they let Bo Nix and them boys score 18 points on them in the fourth quarter. They're going to be mad as hell, and Jackson Dart's gonna have a long day. But what I don't want to see is the Eagles win 14-13, 21-10. Hell no. I need this offense to go out here and put up a number. And we have a big storyline that, there's other storylines to talk about, but a huge one is Saquon Barkley going back to MetLife Stadium. And you see Amazon Prime and them, they have their marketing so great that you got, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. And then you got Saquon's documentary dropping tomorrow. So if I was a betting man, I would think to myself, okay, the Eagles passed the ball for 280 yards last game, but they lost. And they know deep down their calling card is running the ball. Like, you run the ball, and that's how you've been successful. So
Exactly.
with Saquon going back to the Giants, who we all know and the team knows, he wants to show them what they were missing, and they weren't trying to pay him the extra million or so. And the Eagles did. He wants to show them, hey, this is exactly what you've been missing out on. So I think there's going to be huge emphasis on Saquon Barkley to get his touches. But you can talk about the offensive line. I know you've been watching film and all of that, but I gotta believe that this is a 100-yard, two
Yes.
touchdown game for Saquon Barkley, who we haven't seen go off this year, but you're thinking about the situations he's in now against this team on this day with all the hype and the marketing behind it. Does it feel like it's destined for Saquon Barkley to fry the Giants yet again?
It does. It really, really does. And also, you watched the film. You showed the film where Saquon Barkley is close to popping off these long runs. We know he can. Sometimes it might be one missed blocking assignment, maybe one shoestring tackle. He's close to. We know if you give him that hole, he hit it. He can get 50, 60. That type easy. But the offensive line, you hit on the point, on the nail. Has been playing up to the level we know it can play. Right. Those tackles, Malata, Lane Johnson, have been kind of banged up a little bit, kind of in and out of lineup. Lane Johnson has been, but I've seen those guys kind of get pushed around for the first time ever, in my opinion. Against the Broncos, we've seen Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper winning their reps, right? Pushing the pocket, making Hurts kind of have to step up, feel a little uneasy in the pocket at times. I didn't love that, but like you said, when you're passing the ball at a great volume, when you're a running football team, it kind of puts your tackles, your guards, your centers at an uneasy position because now I'm gonna pin my ears back. I'm gonna go get you, right? So I want to see against an Abdul Carter, a Kayvon Thibodeau, a Dexter Lawrence, those type of guys, when they want to rush the quarterback, you cannot let that happen because now we're playing at their hands. So, as you said, Saquon Barkley, this has to be a 100-yard game, 2 touchdown game. But my question for you is if it's not, right? If we do get another sloppy offensive performance, what are you seeing, right? How do you react to that?
I think there's multiple factors, and Kevin Patullo, elephant in the room, like he's not good. Like he's not good.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, what I will say is he bad? Yeah. Is he controlled that offensive line? No. Cam Jurgens, he's regressed. Land Dickerson, who I have been saying since the preseason, let him rest. Like, you got to save him from himself. Like,
mhm,
if the guy injured his knee 2 weeks before the season opener, and in the playoffs, he was banged up, and you're playing the Cowboys, dog, let the guy rest. I don't care that he's saying I'm good. Let the guy rest because you need him in December. You need him in January. You need him in those big moments. So Cam Jerkins, he's been hurt. He's been hurt and he's regressed as well. And I don't think Tyler Steen is Mekhi Becton.
not
For
at
a
all.
lot of Saquon's runs last year, he was behind Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton as a run blocker, oh my gosh, he was amazing last season. Pass blocking, you could argue, needed some improvement, but in terms of a run blocker, oh my God, he was one of the best in the league there. And why 2K say had 2K yards. So I think the offensive line has to play better. But my issue is with the Eagles against zone coverage.
Yes.
Because when
Yeah.
it's man to man coverage, AJ Brown wins his matchup every time. You saw him that first half against Pat Surtain, won every time, damn near. Like he had a PI on him, and that set up a touchdown. He had several conversions on him. Like he was extremely effective on Pat Surtain. What did the Broncos do? They said, okay, they're effective on man to man coverage. Let's go to zone. And when
Yes.
we went to zone, you actually need a scheme to beat zone. Like you actually need not just great players, but a great scheme to beat the zone. And could some blame go to Jalen Hurts, who maybe has to improve in throwing against zone coverage? I'll give you 20 max. But for real, he's shown that if he has a competent play caller, and I'm talking about Shane Steichen, I'm talking
Yes.
about Kellen Moore when Kellen Moore was on his game, you saw him be lights out. Now, I want your thoughts on this because Saquon, AJ, and Hurts all had a talk. And we don't necessarily have to get into the whole or AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts friends. I don't even
Yeah.
care about that. What I
Nah.
do know is their connection on the field is not there. So they gotta hash some out. I don't know if it's the gloves, whatever the case. I'm talking about on the field, whatever y'all gotta do, you gotta get that right. So,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on Saquon, Hurts, AJ, all of them, talking, for several hours? It gets reported, and then they ask, Hurts and Saquon, hey, like, what happened in that meeting? They're like, just talking about the team. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's just such a nuanced thing, right? We talked about Saquon Barkley and why we're not seeing that offensive line kind of overpower a team like they once had. I think you hit it on the nail once again. Mekhi Becton was such a dominant right guard. So many of those big runs was going behind Mekhi Becton, just mauling people. Him and Lane Johnson on the same side made things really hard for teams. And the scheme, Patullo, the scheme of the offense, you don't see what we see from the Lions, right? Whereas I'm gonna pull this guard here, I'm gonna do might run a counter the next play, inside zone, outside. I'm doing so many different things, putting these defenses in a bind because you do not know what's going to happen next. We are predictable. Defenses know if they go in a 2-by-1 set, it's probably a pass, right? If we're in a 2-by-2 set, it's probably right. They know by the sets, right? By Hurts motioning someone in. They know from watching what we do week in, week out. We're not changing it up. The playbook is not that deep, right? When everyone watches it, every Eagles fan watches the game and says, "Damn, it's probably the same play I seen last week, man." I'm being honest with you, right? Same route. We'll get a deep crosser,
Slants
right?
and core routes.
Like, it's the same stuff, right? So we can see it. What do you think the people that every single day get paid for a living to stop are seeing? So the scheme has to help the players. We understand the players are special, right? But the scheme has to help the players. And that's where we get to AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, right? We all see it on Thursday, right? When Puka Nakua was stacked. When I mean stacked, I mean Puka Nakua, Devontae Adams, one's on the line, one's behind them, and it makes it hard for you to double. It makes it hard for you to really go man to man with your best corner guy. Because now I can go on a quick drag to where you have to come all the way up from the boundary to come drag me. I can go on a curl, putting your receivers in places where they can succeed. That's what AJ Brown wants. He wants to be used as a Puka Nakua, a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase. Those guys get put in positions to where not only stay on the outside and win your matchup. No, we're going to move you in the slot. We're going to motion you in. We're going to, like I said, stack you. We're going to do so many different things to get you the ball in spaces where we know you can be special. So I think it's a muscle of things when it comes to AJ Brown being upset because he's damn right he should be upset. He
He
could be
should
the
definitely
best.
be upset. He should
He
be
could be the
upset.
best receiver in football.
He should be upset with how he's being used because
Yeah.
it's disrespectful. It's
Yes.
extremely disrespectful, and it makes people look at AJ like you're not better than Puka Nakua. You're not better than CD Lamb or Jamar Chase, or I'm okay with people saying Jettas or Chase are better than him, but none of those guys, I don't care whatever side you on, clear AJ Brown. I just don't
No.
believe it. And I've seen this man put up 1,400 yards back to back seasons. I mean, last season, yeah, there was some talk about the passing game, but if he wasn't hurt, he was on pace for 1,400 yards. We know what this guy can do, and he's a three-time All Pro for a reason. And now we have people questioning the ability of AJ Brown because hey, like the scheme isn't so good. So now they're like, all right, AJ, my fantasy league, and he's not putting up points. AJ's trash. He's not that. He's not getting open. And I would just say you can't definitively say with AJ Brown, he's not that great against zone coverage when we haven't seen him, really have a great offensive coordinator that can beat
Yes.
that zone coverage. I think that was hubris on Steve Spagnuolo part in the Super Bowl was like, you're gonna have what a Jalen Watson man to man on Devontae Smith. You're gonna have Trent McDuffie. I don't care if it's Pat Surtain, Trent McDuffie, whoever. You're gonna have them man to man on AJ Brown. Like these guys are way too good. And you made a great point with stacking the receivers. We saw this with the Chiefs against the Jaguars. They were at the 1 yard line. I think it was fourth and goal and or third and goal. And you had Travis Kelsey stacked with a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Boom, little
Big
misdirection
play.
there. And then now Travis Kelsey wide open for the touchdown, the flat. So like those are the creative plays that you see from an Andy Reid, a Sean McVay. And we're not saying, hey, you got to be those guys.
Mhm.
But dang, like we just want you to be middle of the pack. I was looking at like where the Eagles offense and defense rank compared to the Giants, and the Eagles have a bottom of the league pass offense. They have a below average rush offense, and they also have a below average rush defense. And their pass defense rather, it's middle of the pack, but like it's much better. Like it's
Exactly.
gonna even out. It's much better than and you know that pass defense is top five, really top three. Like
Easily, easily, easily.
it's
It's not even
more
close.
just like the Buccaneers game. All right, I don't want to be the guy that says, "Hey, if it wasn't for two plays," but damn it,
Yeah,
those it was
Buccaneers.
two botch coverages for the most of that game. Like Baker had 280 some passing yards. Like if you remove two 60-yard plays, he would have had
Yes.
under 200 passing yards in that game.
And, like, watch the game too. Like, you know when you see Quinyon Mitchell shattering these best receivers, he's locking them down week after week. You see
Exactly.
Cooper DeJean, the best slot corner in football. You see these safeties, but Cooper might be the best young safety. Like, come on, man. Like stats don't tell, like you said, stats do not tell the story the whole time.
Not the whole time. Garbage time stats from Patrick Mahomes, then got one to Taekwon Thornton.
Even
Uh, even Matthew Stafford wasn't like his best against the Eagles too.
no.
Like in the first play of the game, Zach Bond gets a pick. So the defense has showed up. And yeah, I think that they'll show up. The question is if the offense will. Uh, but yeah, I think that they're gonna just continue to. 'Cause here's the thing, and I talked with somebody and they were like, "Man, Sirianni, Patullo, they got rabbit ears because everybody's talking about pass the ball. Then they throw the ball 38 times and run with Saquon 6 times." I would I'm so happy that Nick Sirianni has a Super Bowl. Like, I'm really happy and he's an elite coach, but he better thank to God for Jalen Carter, because if Jalen Carter didn't sack Matthew Stafford in that Rams game,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
I gotta
there's not much heat on Nick Sirianni right now for the offense, which I could argue, yes, he's a Super Bowl champion. Yes, he's a winner. Yes, I still believe that he's a top 3, top 5 coach at worst in the NFL right now because you got to go by the wins. But play calling and coaching an offense is not his strong suit. He's more of a vibes guy. He's more of like he's great in situations where AJ and Hurts, maybe they having a problems or it's some beef or something's going on or just outbursts here, whatever. He's a great guy to manage all of that. And I feel like he's good at managing games. Like, do you feel like there should be more criticism on Nick Sirianni, especially if the Eagles, God forbid, lose to the Giants? But yeah, let's just say it doesn't look too pretty in the Giants game. Like, uh, is it fair to be like, all right, Sirianni, we've been on Kevin Patullo.
mhm.
Uh, dog, come on now. What
Yes.
about you?
100%. Like, people need to understand when Sirianni came in here, he called the plays in Indianapolis, right? He called plays before. He has experience doing that. When you come to Philadelphia, you called plays, wasn't that good. Since I can took over, team skyrocketed, right? But we're seeing it right now with Patullo. The scheme being so basic, being so predictable. And when you have a team like this, I like to use other teams as examples. We're seeing the Lions have the same amount of talent, right? The quarterback, the offensive line, the running back, the receivers, and the offense. They're on pace to put up the most points ever in a season. Like they're that
Yeah.
damn good because when you bring in a coordinator that can match the scheme with the talent you're talking about an historic offense, this team has the most Eagles, I'm talking about, had the roster that could put up points 30, 35 points. But we don't have the scheme to match up. But on defense can play you a certain way because they understand, like I said, and maybe in a third down, we understand you only have about 4 or 5 routes for AJ Brown, maybe about 2, 3 routes for Devontae Smith. And now I told my corner, Joe, just watch for this route right here, watch for this route right here. You can play guys a little bit different. But now if we're saying, yo, we don't know if in the third and 5, for example, if they're in the 3-by-1 to the left side of the field, we don't know what's going to happen. If AJ Brown going to motion over, now we can't really travel. Like The scheme, we said it in this video. The scheme is so important because it puts defenses in a bind, right? These are people that get paid. I feel like people sometimes forget what coaches do. They get paid. The entire salary is to make sure my scheme is good enough to stop you or to beat you. So when Sirianni, when you were an offensive guy, like he was a vibe, he's a vibe guy now, but people forget coming in, he was an offensive coordinator, an offensive guy that saved Jalen Hurts, right?
Right.
We gotta see you when the team right now is second time it happened. Brian Johnson was horrible. Now Petulo's horrible. And I believe Howie Roseman brought in Kellen Moore.
Oh,
That's what I
for
believe.
sure. And let's shut that down because folks talking about some Sirianni made Kellen Moore, Sirianni made Vic Fangio, what they do before him. Dog, we gotta stop revising history.
Yes.
Sirianni did not pick Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. He
That
was gonna
part.
go with whoever. At that point, the Eagles were like, "Do we fire this guy?" We gotta stop revising history. Howie Roseman, he was the guy that hired those two. I'll let you go on. But I had to set that record straight. Yeah,
You know,
facts.
and that is the point. We get it, correct? We get it. We don't have 2020. We get it. But when you hire Brian Johnson, that was your guy. And he was horrible, horrific. It was a basic offense and was horrible. Season ended horribly. Now we have the second iteration of Kevin Patullo. If this season ends horribly because you, the offensive minded head coach, cannot find a guy or you're not going to call a plays yourself, you have to be held accountable. The same way we hold all these other coaches accountable, right? Zach Taylor is held accountable for when Joe Burrow and those guys do not play well. John Harbaugh right now is being held accountable. Sean McDermott, when Josh Allen does not get it done, is held accountable. I understand you have the ring, but for me, that was Howie Roseman's staff, right? That was an all-time great constructed team. That was Jalen Hurts being the leader of that team, saying, "Yo, make sure the game is the game. Keep your mind focused. Every single game we're going to kill." Right? Sirianni, you came in. I had, like you said, we judge coaches off for wins. So I cannot say, "All right, he's winning. He's won. He's in the high seat." But like you said, he needs some blame. He has to turn it up because this team is too damn good to be looking this damn bad.
For real. And got two more points before we head off, or two more topics. Brian Daboll, I feel like he was trying to stir the pot because he and I think these coaches, especially if you're a big underdog, it's kind of like, what the hell do I have to lose? I'm already probably going to lose anyway. Let me just go out here and try to instigate. I try to get any advantage I can get. There's obviously some disconnect in Philly. You got the coaches listening to the media, and it's so ironic because the media is us. But listen to the record straight, because people are like, y'all are hypocrites. Y'all talking about running, bro. Nobody was saying throw the ball 38 times. All we're
Well,
saying is, dog, AJ Brown should get more than a catch
yes,
in the game.
yes,
More than like it should not be the last 2 minutes of the Cowboys game, and that's the first time you're targeting AJ Brown. That
yes,
just it that is insane. But we aren't saying when you're up 14 points, double digit lead, you got a double digit lead to go out here and keep throwing the ball. Like I just don't get that there. But
that's
with
facts.
Brian Daboll saying this, AJ Brown is always open. I'm like, you're slick, but you're gonna F around and get your team 40 balled because you already have Hurts who's mad that he lost. I mean, Cuz was running for the football after he threw the damn ball.
Yeah, that was
You all
crazy.
know AJ still, since the Rams game hasn't had another breakout game, so he's still looking for like a 150 type of game. Like if AJ gets a 150 touchdown type of day, oh yeah, he not gonna talk for like the whole month. Like he'll be good. I think he'll be good, but I think he'll be good and all of that. But he want to get the stats like the Pukas, like the Jettas. Like he want to show he the best receiver in the league. Devontae, though he's quiet, he feel the same way. Uh, what was your reaction to Brian Daboll saying AJ Brown is always open? Because again, I feel like he's trying to sabotage, and unless the Eagles are weak, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. I agree, bro. I think he's trying to do them little thing, get in your head, but once again, something I feel like Jalen Hurts does not get enough credit for because so many people are just so enamored, and of course, with the arm talent of the Herbert, but the leadership and to be able to have your team locked in. And like most teams, I'm like, damn, I might get into my head. With a Jalen Hurts led team, I'm not worried about it at all. I know Hurts going to have his guys ready to go, militant. They're going to be on go. But something I do want to talk about for AJ Brown and his targets. When people say, yeah, he had 9 targets, right? Like, what are we talking about here? They said the last 2 weeks, him, Justin Jefferson have been targeted the same amount, right? All targets are not the same, right? All targets are not the same. If it's off target, right? If the ball's fully out of bounds, right? If the ball's behind me, right? If I'm the fourth reading in progression and I'm still trying to beat my man and I'm getting the ball thrown too early, like those type of things, like targets, all targets are not built the same, right? We talked about Puka Nakua getting a quick screen, right? Getting in motion on a deep cross, maybe like getting your guys, scheming your guys open. That's the main part we're trying to get at. Scheming your guys open is the main thing for an offensive coordinator. When you have an AJ Brown, a Smitty, we see him do a Dallas Goddard all the time. I gotta give him credit. The way Dallas Goddard gets the ball is crazy. That's
in
the
the red
same
zone.
way you feel me, but that's the same way we have to use AJ Brown getting down the field. Because when you do that, you got to play two high safeties, right? Or you got to play a nickel defense with a two high safety. Now we have a light box, and now Saquon Barkley can really do what he wanted to do. So
Do you want to
these
do?
things you have to make sure that we're getting back to Kevin Patullo again. Brian Daboll sees it. AJ Brown's probably dead. He's probably open all the damn time. Wonder why? Because he's AJ Brown. So let's help AJ Brown in getting him the ball, so we don't got to excuse AJ Brown like you posted, bro. He low could give up on that one route one time, so we can't have that.
And
We can't have that
that's
going on.
and that is 100% facts. Like, oh, Kevin Patullo's gonna get heat. Nick Sirianni, not heat, but he should be held accountable. He has some stinkers. He obviously won a chip, but AJ Brown is not innocent in this because you can't tweet out here and put pressure on your quarterback. And I think that he puts pressure on Hurts. He puts pressure on this offense because he knows they can handle it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's right to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that when you post something on social media and other teammates have to answer to it, that's thorough. I wouldn't say that's thorough just because you know that's not going to phase Hurts. Now, if you had a guy who's soft as your quarterback, this wouldn't bode well. If you had somebody soft hearing what Brian Daboll said, maybe they're going to say, all right, let me feed AJ Brown. Let me force feed AJ Brown. Hurts don't care. Hurts do not care. If AJ Brown is open, he'll throw the ball. If AJ Brown is not open, he don't care. He's not throwing him the ball. It's been a couple of times that he has force fed AJ to be like, all right, you want to target that bad? All right, bet. And it damn near got picked off against Kansas City. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
suspect Hurts, especially coming off a loss, to do that. So, ultimately, I think the Eagles are champions at the end of the day. We're
Yeah, of
always
course.
talking about, oh, are they 2023 Eagles? Dog, like
Nah,
the
I don't see
Eagles
that.
won a Super Bowl. Like they have Super Bowl DNA. They have Vic Fangio, Saquon Barkley, Quinion, Coop, like guys that weren't there in 2023 that make a drastic difference. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell. I mean, come on, the list goes on and on and on. My last question for you, bro, is what's your score prediction? Who do you feel like has a monster game? Maybe it's a couple of guys, or you can name Hurts as well. Maybe it's Jackson Dart and Scatterboo or something. Like, yeah, give me your score prediction. How you feel like the game's gonna go from start to finish?
I think it's actually going to be a game where, as much as I want to see a 40 ball, I want to see a blowout. I'm still scared to predict that, right? I love to be right. I'd love to be right. So I see this game still being a hard fought game. Not in the where it's a 1 point game, 2 point game, but where it's gonna be, I'm gonna go 26-17, right? A 9 point win, a comfortable win, but where it's like, damn, it's not a blowout, right? Maybe we get some stagnant three and now it's back to back, right? But I still see this offense having to go to New York where Saquon Barkley played for most of his career, right? Against those fans, right? Where Saquon wants to go off, I have to see a Saquon Barkley game, whether it's passing the ball like Hurst had him on that route where
Mhm.
he picked it all out for him on something like that, or him just going 50 yards to the crib running the ball. So I believe Saquon Barkley had to have a game. It just had to get 100 yards rushing the ball, but can you get 100 yards combined, receiving and passing? And I want to see AJ Brown score the ball. That's all I want to see. I don't care if he gets 150 yards, just score, get in the end zone, because that's going to do something to his spirit, right? He's going to feel something, right? So I want to see him get in the end zone. And for the defense, this is, my opinion, the most important thing. We need turnovers, right? Quinyon Mitchell, I need to see you get a pick, bro. I need to see a pick from Quinyon, who my opinion has been the best corner in all of football. Will Cooper need to play well like he's been doing. Jahai Campbell's been amazing. So I want the defense to really put it on Jackson Dart, put it on Scatterbo, a rookie quarterback coming to play you in prime time. So yeah, I'm going 26-17, and I'm gonna say that 17 is like a late 7 garbage time touchdown. So I'm gonna go with.
For sure. And I got Eagles 33, Giants 10. I think they blow them out. I think the Giants get a late touchdown. And I'm talking about a late touchdown in the fourth quarter, make it 10 points. I think the Eagles put it on them. I think Saquon Barkley goes off. I don't see a situation that was Saquon going back to MetLife. Matter of fact, the last time he went back to MetLife, he had the option to set his career high in rushing yards. He said, "Nah, I'm good." A couple weeks later, had 200 plus against the Rams. Got the organic way. So when he goes back to MetLife, he is on a mission. I expect 100 yards. I expect 2 touchdowns from Saquon Barkley. I think AJ Brown also goes off. I could see a buck 20 and a touchdown there. I think the fact that the Giants are number one in the NFL in man to man coverage,
Mm,
regardless of Kevin Patullo being there and calling the shots. You got AJ Brown lined up against Paulson Adebo. You got AJ Brown lined up against Cordell Flott. No disrespect to these guys. But if you're a listener right now, if you're watching this right now, and you probably heard these guys' names for the first time in your life, what the hell do you think AJ Brown's gonna do to these guys, dog? Like, come on. If he won his matchup against Pat Surtain, what the hell Cordell Flott gonna do? I'm just sorry. So I think it's only a matter of time. And then when AJ has a great game and the Eagles win, it's gonna be all, sunshines and rainbows, and then it'll be a game in November, one of those games that, AJ doesn't have a great game, and then the conversations continue. But I feel like this is a month. I thought it was gonna be a month that the Eagles just run the table, go 4-0. It's not gonna go 4-0, but they should go 3-1 in October, beat the Giants twice, beat the Vikings. So I'm looking forward to this. And Nee, let everybody know what you've been doing. Appreciate you
of
hopping on.
course.
And again, Philly, support Philly again. I can't wait to see this game and our predictions to follow through.
No, for sure, man. Once again, man, thanks for having me, man. What's the name? Everybody know Miles. What's the name? Fastest growing boy right now when it comes to talking sports on anything right now. He grinding, he killing it. So what's having me on, man? I really appreciate that. My name is Nee from In the Zone with Nee, of course. Listen, catch me on Instagram and TikTok In the Zone with Nee NEE. Talking ball, man. Basketball, football is the main thing going on right now. Breaking down some film as well. So yeah, appreciate y'all so much. And Miles, once again, man, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All of y'all like, comment, subscribe, show us some love, share a friend, share a friend. Cannot wait for the Eagles to put BTA. We out. Yes, sir.